We're running and gunning and saying our thoughts, though we have different minds. At the same time, we bring the song to help your mind grow in the mental. Give knowledge with advice plus all essentials. So if you haven't heard, then act like you know. It's the Runner and Gunner Show. Runner and Gunner Show. The Runner and Gunner Show. Gunner.
Solid.
Runner and Gunner, not responsible for any injuries, postponements, or collateral that may occur during or post segments of our entirety of the show. You are now or have been listening to. We would like to add any involvement with similar subjects in the show are completely coincidental and may or may not be facts. We would also like to thank you, Lennox.
Thanks for listening to another edition of the Runner and Gunner podcast radio show. We like to talk about all the greatest things and latest discoveries that anybody's ever heard because we're the greatest podcast. Over 10,000 million subscribers.
And with those 10,000 million, we will only get bigger and stronger. So if you guys want to tune in to the Runner and Gunner Show, listen in on Mondays, Spotify.
So strap your seatbelt in and prepare your minds for another episode of great interviews, great music, and above all,
great
Runner and Gunner times.
On the Runner and Gunner Show.
Whoa, Runner, you feel that? We're floating in space.
Whoa, slow down. I'm doing spins. Oh, my God.
Could somebody slow down the space shuttle?
Watch me somersault. Wee-hee.
Whoa, radical. Watch me do a front flip off an Indian-style seating position. Flip.
Whoa. How did you keep your legs like that?
I'm telling you, it's Rufus the big white dragon dog, bro.
All I know is Runner and Gunner are here for the Monday Morning Pops.
Yeah.
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 And now, the Monday Morning Pour.
Oh, refreshing. I could see the refreshing come out. The top of the beer. Nice and frozen cold. Spectaculating with ribbons of bubbles.
Is that half? Is that half?
Yep.
Half. No, well, go ahead. For sure, take the beer half.
Yeah. I got this beer from Paso Robles in California, the United States.
United States, California.
Paso Robles, that's Wine County in California. You know they have the best wines in California in the world? You can go to Zimbabwe, Africa. But guess what? California's still got a better wine than any place. I think Ireland, the only place that has a better wine than California, of course, is France, because France,
But I heard they have little weebies. I mean, they say wee-wee.
Oh, I think the ladies have little weebies on the chest.
That means little, yes.
I mean,
so,
what? Hold on. We're talking about wine here.
Is, that we
means
love
wine, beautiful little weed. Oh, what? I mean, come on.
Wait, they have those in different parts of the country here, like Frisco, West Hollywood.
No,
anyways, we're not talking about that. That's gross.
I mean, what? Hold on. We're not talking about
little yes.
Any wee-wees on the chest.
Yes.
We're not talking about any wee-wees and wee-wee. We're talking about France. Yes.
We like France wine.
California has better wine than France. It's official. You can go ahead and Google it. Or Roogle or Booble or whatever the new search engine is of the month. I know it changes every week. Next, the $1 billion search engine is going to be Spackle.
Well, look out for the Runner Gunner search engine coming to you guys soon.
And in fact, if you Runner and Gunner, the search engine, you will find everything that we do, all of our material on YouTube, on Anchor, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, and all the podcasts of all the podcasts. We are just a radio show. We're here to entertain and educate.
The underground hidden stuff that we have not even released to the public yet. For our subscribers, for our listeners, they get special edition stuff that the regular listeners do not get. So if you do listen and click the button to listen to us, you get the super duper stuff that the others cannot get. And to that, we cheers.
Mm-hmm. And we're soon coming out with a subscription-based Runner and Gunner show.
This is amazing.
Where you will get the chance to pay us money to create this show. But the subscription-based will only be secret super episodes that are too gnarly for freedom. So if you want the free radio podcast, then you're listening to the right station. We're here every Monday morning, Wednesday evening for your entertaining pleasure.
And one more time, I just got to say, that Gunner bought this stuff. This is really smooth. I like the way it tastes.
Good.
And Paso Robles, Paso Robles?
Paso Robles?
Yeah, Paso Robles. Sunny Days. It's from a place called Barrel House. Barrel House Brewing Company. So the Barrel House Brewing Company is located in Paso Robles, and this stuff is really smooth. It has a really good taste to it.
Yeah.
It's not even. It's wintertime. Imagine what it tastes like in the summertime. This stuff is amazing. Thank you, Gunner, for bringing it for us.
You're welcome. This stuff
because
is
Gunner
amazing.
is the one who went to Paso Robles, and he bought it straight from the factory.
Yes, I've been filming that show, This Is Us. It's on NBC. I am in it. I'm one of the cast members in it. I can tell you all the spoilers right here, like Chrissy's, like freaking Kevin.
Yeah.
I can tell you that Silver Sterling is teaming up with Archer Sterling, and they're going to be filming some episodes of that cartoon. But I'll get in trouble if I tell you anything, so I won't. Anyways, I'm on the This Is Us show. If you're an actor out there, Gunner's got you. I know how to become an actor. I'll teach you all the steps. I'll teach you a little later down the line, but the first thing you got to do is get yourself online, make yourself an online presence, and there's a little website called Central Casting if you live in New York, Atlanta, Georgia, California, or New Mexico.
California.
Just go up to there, register. I think it takes about a 2-week waiting list. Get yourself registered. It's free money. You can become in the industry. If you're from Alabama and you come to California, guess what? You get yourself into Central Casting first. But this show is much more.
So follow what Gunner's leads are because he knows exactly what he's talking about. Listen to him and you will get yourself started. If your dream is to come to California, especially Los Angeles, especially Hollywood, that is the right place to go, the right direction to go. So you know where to come to. The greatest show in the world will lead you in right directions. That's what we want to do, is send people in the positive directions. But this show is specifically right now about the
video game console wars
that are going on in the world. So this is a worldwide war. This is beyond any war that you're thinking. This is a whole civil war within the video game industry.
Yes.
There's a lot of things going on right now, currently, before. There's so much things that have led up to the way the war is going, and which direction it is leading, nobody knows. You know?
Yes!
There's so, the millions of billions of dollars are going now towards video games. The creators and everybody, you know, loves video games. I don't know people that have not played a video game. If they are, they're probably pushing up daisies.
Yes, the creators are getting money. The presidents of those CEO executive buildings are getting money. They don't even have to know how to make a video game. They're hiring people. They ain't hiring people to pay them money. No, they're keeping that money. Video games is a billion-trillion-dollar industry, and it's made cajillions of dollars over the last 25 years. It's formally started in the 80s with like Frogger and Pac-Man and Asteroids, and you know, then it moved to console with like E.T. and Atari, and Frogger was there again, and then it moved over to the NES.
The NES with Mario. That's when things started getting big. Once and this was about the early 80s, I would say maybe 84, 83. Maybe even 82. But so they started off as arcade games. You know, arcades were ruling the world at one point. Arcades were the biggest thing. Everybody knows before consoles came out, before the console wars even started, arcades, you know, they bred the way, they led the way. So everybody give their respects to these arcades. There is very few out there, but there still is some out there. So if you haven't experienced the arcade experience, get out there and do it because it's well worth it.
They started it.
So they started the beginning of NES, which I was getting to.
Peralta, Tony Hawk.
NES, yeah.
You know, they all used to hang out at the arcades in the 70s.
Yeah.
And after they'd go skating half pipes and with their knee pads and half-shaved heads, they'd go play video games, eat some pizza, eat some pretzels, and play video games. They're giant box systems. Lenny's you might not have even seen an arcade. There's a giant box system. It's got a TV in the middle. It's got a giant joystick and giant buttons. And you play with this thing by staring at it and putting quarters in it.
Putting quarters and quarters and quarters. You would steal your mom's laundry money just to go to the local corner store and start playing some arcade games when you were a little kid. You know, they had Donkey Kong. This is where Donkey Kong came from, which starred Mario. Donkey Kong came out first before Mario Bros. Donkey Kong was the first big one to hit America and
It was
China.
great.
Well, China, I think China had invented it too. So us and China were doing good, and Japan.
Yeah,
we were all
in fact,
with
the Japanese
video games.
probably invented it first, and
Yeah,
then
the
we
Japanese.
made it American with the gorilla
Yeah.
and Mario.
Yes.
Because those Japanese, they know what's up. They know how to market to us Americans.
Yes,
We're
they do.
simple. We're complex, but when it comes to characters, we like a short guy with a big nose and a big mustache. That's all we want. We
Yeah.
want to see him beating up freaking gorillas.
And he looked like he ate too many dang pizzas, yet he could jump 150 feet high.
Order that.
And he was his nemesis. His nemesis was actually Donkey Kong was the bad guy. So Donkey Kong was the first real enemy. And I mean, we're not including asteroids. We're not talking about Pong because the ball was the enemy and
Yeah, each other. We were
yeah, it was
facing each
one on
other.
one, and you just hit the ball, bing, bing, and it goes up and down. But that game actually came from way back in the 60s. We're not going to go that far back. We're not far back.
Yeah.
We're going to stick to the console wars.
Donkey
The
Kong.
console wars, which was Donkey Kong, and they began it. That began a little character named Mario who used to jump the barrels, get the
Jump
hammer,
the barrels, fight
and
AI.
all because Donkey Kong, sort of like King Kong, stole the beautiful girl who was the princess. Her name wasn't
Yeah.
Princess Leia. Princess something. Peach? Yeah. Peach,
That's why they did
Peach
it.
ring. So he stole his peach rings because he was a big fat guy and he wanted to eat all the peach rings in the whole video game industry.
Yeah.
And Donkey Kong was
He wanted
a
us-
big bad guy. He
Never
was
mind.
King Kong.
Bite my tongue.
King Kong. And so what happened was that after King Kong happened,
After King Kong stole the
everything
princess,
got better.
the world fell in love with Mario because he socked up Donkey Kong. Essentially, King Kong. That's probably why the Japanese made him a giant gorilla who climbs buildings, because of our love for the movie King Kong, which was
King
produced in
Kong.
Hollywood, which is a movie that Uncle Greg right here, Uncle Gunner, will teach you how to get into the movie industry. If you're
Gunner,
from
let
out of
him know.
state, if you're not from Hollywood, if you're out of the country, come down to California, you rent yourself an apartment, make certain you have enough money, and you get yourself up on those casting calls.
So before we go into Super Mario or even Mario Bros, in between that time, there was a
Yes,
little
I
guy who
digress.
used to eat pellets, and his name was Pac-Man. Pac-Man was a big game, too, in the arcade games before the console wars had begun. But they didn't be gone because they still had begun at that time, and they will never be gone. That's what the crazy thing is.
Yeah, so Nintendo...
So they ate pallets, and Pac-Man ate pallets, and he was a big deal. He was I forgot the creator, the name of the creator. Namco. Namco was the first one to put them on, and after that, they became huge.
And that was the story of the console wars. Everybody, tune in next week. Oh, wait, we got more of the show?
Yep.
Or hold on, our producers is telling us that we have to go on.
We have to go on.
So, NES, 1985. It comes out.
1985
It has no
comes out.
competition. In fact, it doesn't have any competition
It has
for a mere
nothing
5
even close.
years. It took
For
another
about 5.5,
years
yeah.
for a Sega Genesis to start even thinking up a
Things
competition.
to how to get close. Yeah, Sega Genesis.
And they had the
well,
Sega Master System, which was like the NES. But
Yeah.
it was
but
not as good.
Japan had it first. It was called Famicom. Remember that? The Famicom system?
Famicom was NES.
Famicom was first released in Japan.
The Japanese
Second
version.
release, yeah, that was the cool. That's a very rare one. I've actually seen.
Or as the
these
Japanese
systems
call
saw-
Famicom.
Famicom.com. Yeah, and so if you have a Famicom, then you are probably a rich guy who loves old school games.
Yep.
Because a Famicom system is really hard. Original.
You're probably a
in
Lenny.
mint
You need to
condition,
stop whacking.
Famicom edition is probably one of the Lenny guys must have owned. And if you
keep that behind a glass cabinet and you don't even let your mother touch it,
Don't let your
then
mother touch it.
You are a Lenny and you need to get a life.
you need to get a life and get something better in
But
your life.
Runner and Gunner is not here to bring you down. We're here to build
Pick
you up.
and also teach you a few positive things about yourself. Because you could find some good stuff. Just think about how the first console wars began and how you were involved mentally. If you do play a game, any game, if you've ever played a game or touched a game, then you yourself are involved in these wars.
Yeah.
So
Be the NES.
if you've even touched a game on your phone, you're involved in these wars. Any
Yes.
type of game. If you played any game, if you played freaking chess, if you played checkers, if you played Monopoly,
Absolutely.
you
Cards,
are part
poker.
of the console wars.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure everybody in the world is involved, unless you got some special issues, which we can't discuss in this show. Keep that away.
Oh, yeah. So if you play dominoes, you're involved. If you play freaking hopscotch, you are involved in the console wars. Because console wars are basically taking a digital version of hopscotch.
Yes.
And they're bringing it to your home television set where they program your mind to buy more product. And these products are actually worthwhile and worth your money. You just got to, swim through the waves of what's cheap, and what's really good.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about a couple really good games. Brother, what is the best game for NES?
Well, of course, everybody in the whole wide world knows that
it's Skate or Die.
Mario Bros.
Super Mario Bros.
is the best game. It's the most popular game, actually, but you could have your opinion on the best game. I still would think it is Super Mario Bros. Yeah,
I agree.
Super Mario Bros. It's so fun, and they still, they make so many editions of it out there. It's on every freaking, you can find it all over the place. You just look it up on your computer and you can find it if you look up wisely. But it's right there. It's right there. And if you can't look it up on YouTube and see what the heck it's about. See how you could do good with that.
All right.
But also, Mega Man.
NES had Mega Man. NES had Super Nintendo Mario Man.
Castlevania.
NES had Castlevania 1, 2, and 3.
What about Contra?
NES had Contra. NES had Contra number 2. NES had Double Dragon.
Ooh.
NES had Dodgeball.
Mm-hmm.
NES had a version of the movie Home Alone, the game.
Karate Kid, the game.
The Karate Kid, the game.
Back to the Future.
The game.
The game. Yeah. So they've had many. Addams Family.
The game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flintstones.
The game.
Simpsons.
Was that for NES?
Bart Simpson versus the
aliens.
Aliens. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bart Simpson versus the world. They had a couple of them.
Oh yeah. What about Ninja Turtles games?
Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 and 2.
There's a couple of those. Yeah.
Yep.
A couple good. So yeah,
So
Nintendo pretty much
Zelda.
made thousands. Oh, Zelda, the classic,
had Zelda,
all-time classic.
And if you bought Zelda back in the day, it came in a gold cartridge.
I know. I remember.
And it came with a silver key on that gold cartridge. It was the Zelda Nintendo edition.
Zelda Nintendo. That was amazing. I actually had the Zelda Nintendo edition.
Oh, me too.
I had it. Yeah, I had and Adventures of Link. But my Zelda Nintendo one got messed up because it got broken. But the Adventures of Link, that was Zelda Part 2.
Yep.
And that one was also gold.
Yeah.
So they
They
knew how to advertise. Yeah, they knew how to advertise and they knew how to do it. After them was these guys, this little blue guy who would speed up and down what are they called? Railings, ramps, or
loops?
Loop-de-loop. Yeah, there you go. And ramps too. He would go up ramps and he would shoot off of springs.
Yeah, his name was
Sonic the
Sonic the Hedgehog. And he was a little blue man. He was there.
He was fun
to compete where there was no competition before, but they were always in the game because they made the Sega Master System.
See, but they stepped it up from how many bit was Nintendo?
It was 8-bit. And it went to 16-bit.
Yeah, so they pretty much doubled in, and that's hard nowadays to see something double from what it was. Well, not really, not nowadays, because it wasn't more.
Nowadays,
it was more about the way things.
720?
We're
1080.
We're like 4K bit,
whatever
that.
Right. We're
4K bit, which is like
Absolutely
almost right next to next upcoming is. Oh, we even got VR.
But I'm telling you, these games
we
suck.
got VR.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't say anything. What?
I didn't hear that. I don't know what happened.
Uncle Lenny, is he here? Sure, let's erase that. We're gonna rewind the show so you didn't hear.
Sonic and everybody.
Sonic is a great mascot.
What are they called again?
They're called the Loopity
The
Loops.
Loops. Okay, so we went up those ramps, and after that,
we fell in love. We fell in love with the game.
It was a great game.
Started the war.
And that started the war because they had their own mascot now.
Yeah.
Now, Sega had its mascot. Mario was already
it's the two mascots.
Now it's mascot versus mascot.
Mascot versus mascot.
So who would win?
The clever Mario or
Mario
the fast
could
Sonic?
Just jump on Sonic, but Sonic could outrun Mario.
Yep.
See, Mario was big and strong, but Sonic is fast and
Yeah,
small.
yeah.
So
That's how it was, too.
It's a tough
one.
decision, and Mario.
Who wins, audience?
They all have different powers. Mario can shoot fireballs. Sonic can speed like fire,
like a saw.
He could speed like fire and chop you up. He has super sparkling stuff that will chop you up.
He's like a porcupine. He's half porcupine.
And plus, Mario dies with only 2 hits. Or 1 hit if he's a little Mario. He has to get a mushroom and a fireman, and if he gets that fireman, it takes 2 hits to kill him. Sonic has to get killed by all his rings. He has to lose all his rings, and he could recover his rings. So it's a hard decision, and it's a hardly fought fight.
It was so
till the end.
I know, like, everybody's doing the rings thing now, and now you don't even have rings; you just regenerate health. But when you had to pick up rings to gain lives, and then if you get hit, you could recover your rings, and you could hold on to 1 ring, and you could essentially exist the whole game off of 1 ring that you keep recycling. I'm telling you, that is fun. It is inventive, and everybody wants to play a lot more of it. A hedgehog is a spiny mammal of the subfamily Erinacanaceae. In the Eulopatidicopetan family, the Erinacanaceae, Erinaceidae. There are 17 species of the hedgehog and 5, and it is not a porcupine. Even though Sonic could saw people in half, he is not related to the porcupines. He can be found in New Zealand. They don't make them. I don't think God makes them in the color blue, but I'm certain they're out there somewhere. Sonic the Hedgehog versus Mario, everybody.
And Mario's character design, particularly his large nose, drawn on Western influences. Once he became a plumber, Mariotto decided to put him in New York and make him Italian, lighthearted, attributing Mario's nationality to his mustache.
Awesome. Because in the 80s and before, I know nowadays they're like, every race has got to be on TV. I'm Trump.
See, and it wasn't even racist.
It wasn't even racist,
he
but
was actually giving credit to the Italians, saying, "Hey."
But did you know that in the day,
they're cool.
Italians were attractive. Like, if you were attractive, you were Italian. Even if you were white, if you were attractive, you were Italian. If you were a white guy and you were attractive, guess what? You're now Italian.
Yeah, exactly.
And now there's more beautiful people than Italians because Italians started breeding with a bunch of other people, and they got all these different blends of genes everywhere.
So they got Mex-Italians,
but that's how it was.
Black Aliens,
Stallions,
Italian stallions.
Yes, who are big titty and beautiful. Oh wait, we're not talking about wee-wees. We are talking about chi-chis. I mean, what? Hold on.
French aliens.
Woo. French-made aliens.
Medallions.
Oh, what? All right. Yes, double medallions.
The console wars will continue. We will tell you more about these wars after these
commercial breaks.
Walking down the street. Hey, I'm late for a meeting. Do you know what time it is, sir?
Oh, I'm just trying to get across the crosswalk right here, sir, but it is 4:44.
Exactly. I have to be there at 5:01.
Well, let me look at my watch again. Yep, 4:45.
That's a really nice watch. What kind of watch do you have there, sir?
Well, thank you. It's a Rolex. Swoosh! Hey!
It's mine now.
Come back here. Rolex with over 15 different features, handcrafted gears, and the most beautiful, electrifying 24-karat gold.
Only $100 million.
Rolex. All right, everybody, we are back here, the Runner Gunner Show. The conclusion is that there is no conclusion. Sonic, Mario, Sega, NES, Mario. This is the very beginning of the console war.
And this is only the beginning, only the start. This is what they call the tip of the iceberg. The first freaking little battle that has started the whole big war that is going on that you kids and you adults and you elders play today. This is a big thing that is going on now and forever will go on. But we were just telling you the beginning, and that is really how it started. A little guy named Mario and a littler guy named Sonic. Speed versus power. You know, who will devour? Who will win? What side are you guys on? That's what we really want to know.
What side are you guys on, audience? Do you prefer Mario on the Nintendo Entertainment System?
NES
or Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis?
Now, tell them how they could go vote for what side they're on, and they could let us know who wins. And
yes, so go ahead and follow us on Instagram. We got a new Instagram, and it corresponds with the show you just heard every week. And we have comments, questions, and we'll even put some of your answers up on the show later to come. It is a brand new Instagram, so it doesn't have much, but we are going to grow. And we also got a TikTok, and we're going to grow. We already got 5,000 customers ready to be served up some Runner and Gunner.
Yeah.
How about we make it 10,000 so we can unlock some
and we
special
just let
features.
you guys know that we answer all your feedback. Anything you guys send us, it is there, and we will answer it. We will give you all the answers that you need, no matter what. We will respond. So if you hit us up and you let us know what side you're on or what side you aren't on, or if you're neutral on both sides, we'll still respond to your console war.
So everybody, that is the
Additives.
Runner and Gunner Console Wars. We're going to tell you that there is a guy named Sonic the Hedgehog, and there is a guy named Mario, and they are fighting fiercely against each other. But there's going to be a third competitor, and that competitor is going to be Crash Bandicoot. He doesn't know it yet, but he doesn't really know exist. Yet. And he's going to be a competitor that lasts much longer, much more horrifying than Sonic the Hedgehog. And he's going to take on Mario all the way to the top, to levels that they couldn't have even thought to take by themselves alone. But together, they are fighting just like King Kong himself, just like when Mario took over King Kong and he defeated him by throwing him off the building.
Yeah, but that is on the next episode. We can't really talk about that one. This one was about the NES versus the Sega Genesis. And it's pretty freaking close, but I can't pick what side I'm on because I'm almost neutral, but I'm still leaning towards the original console, which is Sony's first Sega Genesis.
I would have to say that Sega Genesis is first and Sony is second.
No, exactly. Exactly.
All right, everybody.
So
it's that time of the show where we just do a little recap on the show. Today we talked about presents. Flowers. We also talked about the presidential debates that are going on for 2024 elections.
2020.
We're also talking about the Ford Bronco, which is a brand new car. Came out in 2021 after being held for ransom for 10 years.
The juice is loose.
We also talked about OJ in space. OJ is going to space. He's potentially a millionaire OJ.
The gloves are red and the wife is clean, so nobody knows.
So
nobody's seen anything.
He's going to cut the spaceship in half. Everybody's going to see it on the internet. We're all going to be frightened of him, but he's going to space. He's going to the moon. Also, everybody, watch out for next week's episode of Runner and Gunner.
The next week's episode of Runner and Gunner Show.
The end of the season 4, where we change
the finale
transformation.
The finale is coming.
Season 4 into season 5.
Cinco de Mayo.
And also,
is during season 5.
If you want to meet us, we'll be tailgating at the Alice Cooper concert.
Alice Cooper, we will be tailgating and we will be hosting our own little podcast right there. So you guys got to be right there with our huge podcast.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be just about the same amount of people watching Alice Cooper as they're watching us. So you guys got to watch out for us. We will be at the Alice Cooper concert on April 24th.
Yep, 420. Get your 420 calendars ready.
420 tickets, 420, anybody, 420.
You'll have weed.
420.
We'll have radio talk shows.
420, anybody, 420.
We'll trade. And we'll have a 420 of a good time watching Alice Cooper. Everybody out there, we want you to have a good time.
Have a great time.
The Runner and Gunner is here to help you.
We're here to help, and we're here.
Slimy, greasy, Lenny fingers, and your greasy noses, and you're touching your balls and your ass all day long. And we're going to try to wipe those stupid thoughts clean, and we're trying to turn you into a gentleman, just like they turned Audrey Hepburn into a lady in My Fair Lady.
Oh, my Lord.
Or freaking Flubber, the absent-minded professor, and the Music Man, or whatever his name is, Warren Beatty, took that lady, and he made her not a Lenny. And that's what we're doing to you. Remember, that dreams do come true.
Every day.
Whatever you want is what you're going to get, no matter what. So you better want something cool, pick something fun, don't pick something stupid. Everybody out there, the Runner and Gunner, we do a lot for you. We just want you to start interacting with us because we're taking our show to a whole new level.
Whole new heights.
We're going to be talking about the console wars forever.
Forever
now, every
and
other
ever
episode.
and beyond. But now, everybody, we want you to know it is time for the best part of the show that we like to call the
2-minute rundown. All right, everybody, it's the 2-minute rundown. Red Shining Runner. What do you have to say about the March Madness?
What I gotta say is that this is March, and so now we're beginning of March, and what is March called? March Madness. Get ready for the madness, everybody. Pick your
March
college,
of the
pick
triple
your
heads.
team, watch what everything's going on in college basketball. There's a lot of teams. UCLA, let's go. But I don't know who's gonna win this thing. This tournament is a long and crazy tournament, but actually it's short and quick.
LeBron James is officially staying with the Lakers until he
LeBron
dies
James.
or his legs come off. Whichever happens first, LeBron James is Los Angeles Lakers for life.
Forever, or he loses his schlong.
This man.
Please believe in LeBron James and the Lakers that are in almost last place. But next year, we're going to kick some butts. And the Clippers are just as bad as the Lakers. But besides that, everything is going great in the sports world. Nothing is bad. We love the show, and you guys got to love the show just as much as us. Get ready for next month of Alice Cooper and this month of March Madness. Everything is going down.
Alice Cooper's coming to town. The Who is coming to town.
The Who.
And Mr. Paul McCartney is coming to town.
coming.
We're going to watch them all because we're running a gun.
We're going to see them all, and we will inform you of what goes on during those concerts, of how many titties are flashed during those concerts, and
Runner
how many
Gunner
skirts are lifted
is coming to
during those
video.
concerts.
We will be representing ourselves in video form, and the show will be coming to you on YouTube in video. You'll be able to see our faces. You'll be able to see our laughs. You'll be able to see titties when girls flash it. Oh!
And check
us
out.
This is a family-friendly show. Runner, what are you talking about?
Hey, we're slow down. Check us out on TikTok. Let them know.
We're on TikTok, The Runner and Gunner Show at TikTok. We're also on Instagram, The Runner and Gunner Show. If you just Google The Runner and Gunner Show, you'll find everything. Find what your favorite social media outlet is, and go ahead and comment and enjoy the conversation that we're having because it is going down. We ain't even playing games no more. Even Obama is our friend. Gronk is our friend. Gronk follows the Runner and Gunner Show.
Follows us.
We got a couple
you might as
billionaires,
well
including Mark Cuban, is following the Runner and Gunner Show. How amazing is that, right? So everybody out there, just listen to the Runner and Gunner Show. We're listening to rock and roll music. This is the rock and roll and video game podcast that you ever heard in your life.
And it is the greatest of all time.
And we got 100,000 million trillion subscribers already. We want to make it 100,000.
And we will tell you guys, thanks for listening. And we want you guys to drive safe on every Monday when you listen to our show. And we want to say that we wish you peace, love, and be the best person that you could be always on these Monday mornings.
Peace and love. You know, you got to remember that you don't have to think about thinking. You don't have to think about concentration. You just take action, you know. You see what you want to do, and you go after it. You see what you want in your heart, and you make certain that it stays in your heart. That way, you can manifest it in physical form, and you could have anything, potentially, as long as it's not evil, because, you know, only the good and none of the bad. So everybody out there, this is us, the Runner and Gunner Show.
Runner and Gunner Show.
We're here to mentor you. We know we're your official, unofficial mentors.
Yeah.
Don't freaking sip too much. Don't curse too much. And for goodness sake, help the ladies and help the children. All right, everybody, we're here to tell you that there was arcades in the 70s. There's this box, glass, cardboard thing that you had a joystick on the left and you had buttons on the right.
Yeah.
And they were giant and you played them up and down, left, left, right. And they became the controllers that you know today.
That you
controllers that you play today were essentially designed off of these box arcades from the 1978s. the joystick on the left, the D-pad on the left, and the buttons on the right, they're still the same, but it's on your controller today, and there are the ones who designed it.
And that's how it went down back then. So they actually created the ones that you play right now. It doesn't matter if you're playing on PlayStation with those little double Joy-Cons or if you're playing on Xbox with the single Joy-Con in the left and the corner too. It's all the same. Whether it is Switch, whether it is any console you want to know,
all computer.
They created it because all computerized and it's all the same. But 1970s were the originators of these Joy-Cons that we play with right now. Little knowledge.
All right, everybody, we're here to tell you about the arcades from the 1970s, 1978, 1977. There was some maybe before that, but they had this like box cardboard
little
shape. It was like square. It was weird. It was funky. It was humongous. It was 6 foot tall. Pixelated glass. I mean, the glass was, there was a TV in it, and then it had joysticks, and the joysticks had one side and two sides, and they had the joystick on the left, and they had buttons on the right, and you move the joystick with your left hand, and you push the buttons with your right hand, and they essentially became the controllers that you play today. Even with the PlayStation 5 has the joysticks of the
everything
arcade.
Came from back then. Way back when was the creation of what we play now, is what Gunner is saying. So back then they already put it down for us to have our forward progression in consoles. That's why these old school things created what we have right now. So listen up and we will tell you how, and we have. So listen to Run the Gunner Show every Monday.
The Runner and Gunner Show.